This is our last video for Unit 4. So we are on the back of your guide, and we're going to look at even and odd functions. I don't know if you remember when we did this in class, there was a PowerPoint that I had gotten from another teacher that had this, like a picture of a Doberman, a dog that came up and, you know, kind of like said, beware, really big. That's what this is. So even and odd functions are in this unit because one of the ways to tell if it's even or odd is whether it's a reflection or a rotation. So to just zoom in a little bit on your chart here, a function is even if all the exponents are even, meaning even numbers, and it's even if you look at the graph because it will reflect over the y-axis. Okay? Functions are odd if all the exponents are odd. So again, just the exponents if the exponents are odd numbers. And then it's also odd on a graph if you could rotate 180 degrees, but it has to go through the origin. So that's kind of an important part of it, making sure that it has a 180 degree rotation. And then if it's a mixture of even and odd exponents, it's neither. If it did any other reflection or rotation other than these two, it would be neither. But the beware was that the constant terms are even. So remember, the constant terms are the ones without the variable on it. So like, for example, 3 is a constant term. And the reason why there's not a variable on it is because it would be x to the 0. And anything to the 0 power is the same as 1. So when we write 3x to the 0, that x to the 0 would be 1, which means that we wouldn't really need it at all, which is why we have a 3. And that's the constant term because there's no variable on it. So looking at our examples, we are determining whether the function is even, odd, or neither. So that's a 2. That right there is a 1, and this right here is a 0. So it looks like I have a combination of evens and odds. So that one is neither. All right, this exponent right here is a 3. This exponent would be a 1. Those are odds, so the function's odd. This right here would have an exponent of a 1. That's the only one, and it's odd. This one is a constant term. If I had to write a variable with an exponent, it would be x to the 0, which would be even. And then this one is x squared, so that's a 2. This is a constant term, which would be x to the 0. Those are even. And that sums up Unit 4.